What's going on YouTube? Migz of the Decksmiths back at it with another deck profile, and I am sorry that I haven't had a deck profile posted up in a while. There were other decks that were in the group, in the Facebook group page, a little bit more exclusive. But of course, the last thing that I did bring was Pokemon. And today I'm coming back with Dragon Ball. And today, as a tradition, I wanted to keep up a Broly deck flowing into this page, because that was practically the one deck that I actually started with when I came into the Dragon Ball scene. Finished that before a Goku deck. But today I'm going to be presenting to you the Broly Surge. Broly that goes into Surge of Brutality. So we're going to jump right into it. If you guys don't know how to get this, you get this the same way as you can get your Kefla leader, your Kefla Surge leader. So to go through the leader, auto once per turn. When you combo with a red or a green card, draw one card. It's really good because in between turns you will always draw a card. Awaken Surge, choose one red and one green card in your hand, place it under this card, draw two, ready two, flip this over. But for this leader, you always want to awaken him at 3, because his activate main, once per turn, if your life is at 3 or less, and you choose one card under this card, place it to the drop area, you choose one of the following. You can either choose up to one card in your combo area, one card in your drop area, a battle card, and you can combo with it. And this card will gain double strike for the duration of the turn. So even if you choose 0 cards, 0 battle cards from your drop area, you can still gain double strike, which is really good. And then for the second one, which actually puts pressure to the opponent, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and KO it. It's really, really good. Love the card a lot. So I'm going to be doing this deck profile a little bit differently, going through the cards I run, supports, and techs, and of course alternatives that I use because of certain cards not being accessible. Now, it doesn't matter whether the card is available or not, there's always options. So to start off, we got our three Doormen Legends. We need this card to go off for our cards, and to help us go through the deck to get those into the drop area, we got our 4 Sun Goten's Strong of Heart. Now, one thing I need to go through this card, because another fellow judge actually informed me and actually told me how surprised he was that I resolved everything properly. And to all of you players who actually play Broly, every time you have multiple autos happening at the same time, make sure you keep that one card in pending and resolve everything you want to resolve first as much as possible. There has been events that he has told me where the player used this card, drop the Doormen Legend, rated an energy, and then skip right over to the Broly, draw 1, and then try to go back to this card and draw 1. Don't ever do that. You will get judge called, and it will cost you. Don't ever do that. I don't know why people have thought of that. They need to understand the auto pendings a lot more. So this is your support that you need for your Doormen Legends to go into your drop area. If you ever get the Doormen Legend in your hand, even after the mulligan, go right ahead and play it on turn 2, because you'll actually make your opponent think more on whether or not to attack you to put a body on board. For the package, I got 4 Demonic Origins, or Negate Energy Exhaust. A lot of players run like 2 or 1. I like to run 4 because I always want to see it in hand. And 4 Tragedy Foretold. Last but not least, thanks to the shop, best 25 bucks out of the packs that I've spent. SS3 Scramble, Raditz Vegeta Broly. If you don't have it, you don't really have to run it, but if you do have it, hey, you gotta run it in the deck. It's freaking good. For the supports, for the pseudo super combo, you got 4 Chi-Chis. As long as you have 2 or more multicolor red-green cards in your energy area, you draw 1 card when you combo with it. And for the super combo, I went with the Sparking super combo. Because it's easy to gather your super combos into your drop. It's easy to gather cards into your drop area. For the Yu-Gi-Oh! Term hand traps, I'll run 3 Kaioken Son Gokus, because really good when it comes to necking cards on board. And 3 Vegeta the Cruels. Self-explanatory, we already know what Vegeta the Cruel do. Next up, I run 4 Pride and Justice Topo because there is no way in hell, in any way, shape, or form, I'm dropping $26 to $30 times the amount of draft box topos, especially non-foil, to add into this deck. If you guys have that draft box topo, by all means, you would definitely use that over this instead. Highly recommend it. But we're trying to do things like out of the ordinary, keeping it budget friendly. If you have it, you have it. If you don't, here's your alternative. Very similar in terms of how it comes into play, slightly different, but let's be serious. If you are the person to save money, save the money, go on the budget. If I had it many times, and many times I got rid of it because honestly, personally, no offense to anybody that has topos, I don't think he's all that. A lot of people can get around that topo. So, yeah, I run 4 Pride and Justice topo. Next up, I have 3 Saiyan Technique Grade 8 Vegetas. Only reason why I have this Vegeta is because I don't have extras of these Raditz. As you can see, I only have 1 copy. Everybody and their moms just want to be anal about it and hold on to their copies, and then they just want to like overvalue them in a trade. But even if this card still works very well, if you have a multicolor red-green energy and your opponent has 4 more battle cards that are not tokens, you can KO everything that's 15 or less when you combo with it or you play it. It's still pretty decent. 4 SSB Gogeta, Resonant Explosion. A lot of people would play like 3 or 2. I like 4. I like to see this each turn. 1 turn, play 1 on my turn, play 1 on the opponent's, play 1 on mine again, you know. And having 2 of them on board, or 3, even puts more pressure on the opponent. And it's a rival for a red. This one is gimmicky, but only because I don't I don't have Chomp Up Beerus's, but I am gonna swap them out for something else. 2 Kaioken Son Gokus. Again, it's gimmicky, but it's a little techy depending on the deck that you're running against. And if they're taking forever to kill you, you know, this comes in handy to take care of the work. Last but not least, 4 Afterimage Techniques. I understand that this deck is supposed to be aggro, but even in aggro decks, you have to have some kind of defense to protect yourself. And only because I have experienced this, whoops, sorry guys. Only because I have experienced this from other players. Guys, Afterimage does not negate. Unless it states negate attack, it does not negate. I'm going to read this in case some people don't get it. And sorry about that. Trying to have it focused. Your leader is red, meaning that's a requirement. Broly leader is both. Choose up to 1 card and it gets a plus 40k power for the duration of the battle. So it could be a leader or a battle card. It gives it a plus 40k for the duration of battle. Then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards. It gets a minus 10k for the duration of the turn. Nowhere in that text it states it negates attack. So please do not get fooled by any of your opponent, whether they're using it against you or you're using it against them. It does not negate. I had my moments. I had a time where I was playing cooler and the person stopped everything and proceeded to playing, assuming that this was a negate. I explained to him, hello, are you gonna continue are you gonna combo out of this or not? He tells me and looks at me like I'm retarded. What are you talking about? You negated my attack. Doesn't negate attack. It just modifies power. You're still on combo. So please, it's fundamental. And I'm not trying to sound fucked up, but read the cards properly. It will help you, and it will save you from getting rule sharked. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to see a more in-depth explanation of the deck in terms of why certain things are in the deck, I mean, this one was a little bit more self-explanatory as to why certain cards were in the deck. But if you want a more in-depth on how the cards work and what they do, I have another version of this deck profile on the Facebook page. If you guys haven't joined yet, absolutely free to join. You can share your thoughts and ideas, but of course, keep it civil. Thank you guys for watching. This is Migz of the Decksmiths signing out. Peace out. Stay tuned for the next decks following set 9, and take care of yourselves.